Welcome back, everyone. Nowhere does political thinking shape our culture more than in our universities. So tonight, we've got two college students here to discuss the way they see the political debates shaping our country. Cassie Dillon, founder of Lone Conservative, a website for conservative students to discuss current issues, and Kira O'Brien, president of the Harvard Republican Club. Let's start with Cassie. You had an interesting experience at your recent graduation, didn't you? Tell us about that.
Yes, so at graduation, I was actually booed by my classmates as I was receiving my diploma. And I think a lot of it started as, one, I have a reputation on campus for being conservative, especially because I founded Lone Conservative. And then also because I decided to decorate my cap with various political stickers and buttons. And one of them happened to be a Trump-Pence sticker, and my peers were not too happy about that.
Amazing. You were booed for having a political view that wasn't in conformity with the prevailing culture. Kira,
Yes.
have you had anything like that? What's been your experience?
Yeah, unfortunately, I've had several experiences that are pretty similar to that. My classmates are largely pretty accepting of diverse political views, but the teaching assistants have been the biggest stumbling block in my education. In my American Foreign Policy class last semester, I had a teaching assistant who asked for our opinions on whether the country would be better or worse off if Hillary Clinton was president regarding the North Korea debates. We went around the room, and it became pretty evident very quickly that he was not actually asking for our opinion. I was the last one to speak and the only one to say that I did not believe our country would be better off. And unfortunately, this teaching fellow came back and said, well, have you considered this and that, and offered several other scenarios. And I told him, yes, I had considered that. And then he reprimanded me and told me I was incorrect and I should reconsider my views.
It's amazing, isn't it? And you're at Harvard, right? You're supposed to be like like one of the greatest universities in the world, and you're just being told that you're not allowed to have an opinion. Can I just ask you, Kira, in terms of what you're doing there with the Republican Club? I mean, what are you doing to try and change this?
Well, we host a variety of free speech events, and we also just have a forum for discussion of policy. The conservative community at Harvard and the Harvard Republican Club more broadly are what I would consider to be my first home on campus. It's actually a broader group of individuals than you would expect, and there are issues that we can find consensus on. We have a really great working relationship with the Harvard College Democrats, and we've been working together on Students for Carbon Dividends, which is an initiative that I'm the vice president of as well.
So, Cassie, I've read a really great piece you wrote as well for the Wall Street Journal, I think it was, about your experience. Was it was it a Women's March event or something like that? It was really shocking. Another example of the incredible intolerance of the left. Can you tell us about that?
Yeah, so unlike Kira, I've actually had a really good experience with my professors. It's the students that give me a hard time. So I decided to go to an event that was hosted on my campus and advertised for months. It was the founders of the Women's March came to speak on campus, so Linda Sarsour, Tamika Mallory, and they came to speak on campus, and I wanted to go and ask questions because that's what conservatives do. We ask questions. We don't shout down speakers. We don't protest. We like to ask questions. And so I went to go into the event, and there were not a lot of students there. I was very surprised. And I wanted to ask a question, but we were told that we were not allowed to ask questions, but we needed to write them down on a note card to be pre-approved by a dean before these women could answer the questions. And these women have been in a lot of controversy lately, and I thought it was really important for them, if they're coming to a campus, what they called a discussion, to actually discuss with students, and that's not what happened.
What did happen?
So what happened was they answered very softball questions for many students. One of them called me out during the speech because I was tweeting about it, and she was upset that I said not a lot of students were there. It was a room made for 1,000 students, and I'd say maybe 75 to 100 students were there. And so she was very upset about that, but they didn't answer any questions. They sat there and they used the platform to share their ideas without having any other ideas or letting other people challenge them. These are community activists. They should be used to interacting with people in the community, but they just use it as a platform to share their ideas without interacting.
Well, I just think that, your stories are just so typical of what's going on, and whether it's, as in Kira's case, it's the teachers, or Cassie, in your case, the students. It just speaks to this incredible intolerance that we're seeing. And I think the most important thing that gives me optimism, and I think should for our audience, is the fact that you're both there, and and it's terrible to say that what you're doing is brave. It shouldn't need to be brave, but it really is. What you're doing is really brave. You're standing up for what you think, and that is so important for the future of our democracy. You know, the left go on all the time about, you know, undermining democracy and so on. It's actually their intolerance that's doing that, but you're resisting that. And I'm really, really grateful to both of you for doing that and for joining us tonight. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much for having us.